Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Deer Park Coaches Show. He's head coach Tucker Berger. I'm Jake Snyder, and we are here today to recap a tough one for the Deer Park Wildcats, a 48-6 loss to Indian Hill last Friday night. We're going to look forward to our last game of the season. It's week 10. Crazy how we've gotten here this fast.
Time's flying.
But, you know, Tuck, looking back at last week, I think the reality is when you look at this Indian Hill football team, they've given up 13 points in the CHL all season long. They haven't given up more than 14 points to anybody across the board. They're winning games 49-0, 42-0, 40. This is a really, really good football team that you guys played on Friday night. And I thought, at least for 1.5 quarters, almost the whole first half, you guys really held your own.
Yeah. And they're extremely well coached. Yeah. And that's kind of what we talked about going into the week between the coaches is that, our success might not be viewed as a win, but what it was going to be is how well we came out and played. And I thought for the most part we played pretty well, especially offensively. I mean, you take a team who's probably one of the 2 or 3 best in Division IV around here.
Yep.
And you look at what they've been doing to teams. I mean, since week 4, like you said, nobody scored on them. I mean, our 6-0 lead is the first time anyone's had a lead on them this whole year. But I thought our guys battled the whole game. I mean, I never felt like we just gave up. And I think that was kind of one of the biggest things is, we had enough belief and also enough fight to kind of just play 4 quarters and hang in as long as we could. But, when you have less guys it's going to come to an end at some point. And it was a good chance to get some of those younger guys in that haven't played a whole lot recently and just see what they can do. It's also nice because, you got Andre Warren in there who's bugs me every single week about getting a carry. He finally gets one. But, I think for the most part, we battled. And, I thought we did some things well. Obviously, there were some things that we didn't do that were great. But I think it was a good place to build off of, but also a good spot for us to go back and fix some things.
Yeah, for sure. You finished the game offensively with 208 yards. Like you said, a lot of those in the first half, too. You guys really those first 2 drives, I thought, came out firing. Like you said, a first lead on Indian Hill maybe all year long.
Yep.
172 yards on the ground. Ingram goes for 61. Morgan Brown, 8 carries for 53 yards. EJ Goure, good to see him back and active offensively. 11 carries, 50 yards, and the team's touchdown on that first drive. When you look at what you did offensively, specifically in that first half, I thought your blocking lanes were pretty good. Your front against a nasty front 4 of Indian Hill. Again, they've given up no more than 14 points in any game.
Oh, yeah.
26 points all year long, I think, something crazy like that, 30 points all year long. I thought you guys did a pretty good job offensively in that first half.
Yeah, that's kind of what I told the guys on Monday. I told the offense line, tackle to tackle is going to be like a war zone, and that's kind of what it felt like. I thought they blocked as well as they could for a while, and then once we started having a lot of success, Indian Hill went to that counter and just started blitzing everybody. And, it got to a point where they were blitzing more than we could pick up. And, their guys are just so skilled and so disciplined that they were going to be in the right spots. But, like I said, I think there's positives in it. I thought we had some positives on the ground. I thought EJ did some positive things for us, quarterback. I think when Morgan got back in there, he did some positive things at quarterback. I thought Tahj had some positive plays as well. So, it floats around. We could have easily went in there, saw who we were playing, and just kind of just rolled over at the beginning of the game. But, we came out, landed a few punches, and we're in the game for, maybe a quarter and a half. So I think there's good things to grow off of from there.
Yeah, so let's start with that first punch. It's the first play of the game, actually. After the kickoff, you find yourself backed up a little bit. at the 10-yard line, and Ingram takes this one 57 yards, just like that. Things are off and running.
Oh yeah. So I mean, our guys knew that they were going to be disciplined and kind of try to take away the outside from us.
Yeah.
So we run a variation of that triple option where we kind of just try to wash everything down. So Titus and Joe Broadbeck are really the main blocks here. Yeah. Joe's at tight end, and he helps seal that front line, and Titus seals that linebacker, which gives Tahj that lane right there. And Tahj does a good job of just making that second level miss and then running. I mean, that's honestly how it's supposed to be blocked every single time we run it. And I mean, the fact that they came out, and they did that on the first play, it really set the tone, I think, for the rest of the drives throughout the first half. It gave them some confidence. I mean, you're backed up on your 10. I mean, you could easily just be like, oh man, 90 yards.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't going to happen. But I mean, they came out, executed the play, and good things happened. So, and that's what we preach throughout the week. It's, if you do what you're supposed to do, if you do what you're coached to do, good things are going to happen. Half the battle is just executing what's called. And then from there, I mean, the other half is, ability and things you can't coach.
Yeah. I heard once somewhere along the way, like, and I think every sport says this about their sport, but football is the ultimate team sport where if one guy doesn't do their job, it can blow up an entire play. Right?
Oh yeah.
And that play was, I think, super indicative when you watch Titus on that seal block to clear out that linebacker. You watch the wash going across the front. Like, everybody on that play did their job, and guess what? It doesn't matter how good the other team is.
Yeah.
If you can just step in and do the job that you're supposed to do, this is where you end up. So 2 plays later, you capitalize on it, because that's the other thing. He doesn't score.
Oh, yeah.
You do have to capitalize on that play, and EJ is able to take this one in.
Yeah, and having him back is great just because he's been in the moment so much. Yeah. I mean, he's a senior. He's played all 4 years. He's done things. And really, I mean, he's been the backup quarterback all 4 years. But, with his athletic ability and what he can do, he floats around and plays other spots.
Yeah.
He does a really good job of reading it. So he sees that read key gets blocked, so he knows it's a pull. And then he does a good job of getting his foot vertical and finding that open window. I mean, he knows he can't pitch the ball there because the guy's sitting right on it. And the guy he would usually be reading gets blocked. And I mean, EJ just lets his athleticism take over from there. And I mean, it's just another well-executed play. But it also, I think that right there shows you what the triple can give you.
Yeah.
I mean, we just ran for 57 yards and we gave the ball. The next play, run the same thing, and EJ reads it differently, pulls it, and then gets vertical and scores a 30-yard touchdown. So I think that's just another, and we've talked about it throughout all now 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Just how many pieces we have and how many weapons we have that can contribute. And this is just another one we've added in that can make plays. So really good to see EJ back out there. Really good to see him making plays. And, you know, I'm just really happy to see him putting that foot forward and making things happen.
Well, and there's, I mean, as crazy as this sounds, no matter what happens this week, there's still a pretty good chance we're looking at a tournament bid.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of, you know, it's a little less in our control now. Of course, you go out and win on Friday night, and it's completely in your control. Yep. But if the right things happen, and they can and might well happen, you know, having him back as you jump into those first and second round tournament games is it gives you a chance. It gives you another weapon, somebody that hasn't been seen on film necessarily as much this year. It's a scary proposition you guys have set up when you get into that division.
Oh, 100%. And I think that's the thing. What some people don't maybe know about the playoffs is when you get who you're playing and you get your draw, you get to pick 3 games for film.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know who we're going to play. I don't know if we're not 100% in. You know, there's a good shot that we're in just based on the numbers, but obviously nothing's guaranteed unless we win Friday. Right. But, I mean, the teams could pick anything before week 8. And, I mean, then you just don't see some of the pieces on film. I mean, you'll see some things that we aren't doing right now that we're going to start doing. So I think that's just kind of the benefit of everything that's happened so far is that you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, the last play we're going to look at today is actually from the second drive. It's the lone completion of the game from EJ to CJ. Warner, this play is worth looking at because it's one heck of a catch that CJ makes on this play and turns this play into a positive gain.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about plays that I think jumpstart drives. We get stuffed on the first play of the drive, and then we come out and EJ throws the ball quick enough to get it off. And that was one thing we were worried about, is just being able to protect long enough.
Yeah.
But he does a good job of throwing it, and he puts it in a spot where CJ can make a play. And, I think CJ is a really underrated athlete. I think he has a lot better hands than people give him credit for. Yeah. I think he can do a lot of things that not a lot of people necessarily see. But really, I mean, it was just a good throw, and it was a really good catch. I mean, after we scored, Tink was over there bugging me on the sideline. Hey, the seam's open. Hey, the seam's open. Hey, the seam. So, I mean, we sat down, we looked at it, and I was like, all right, hey, we'll go for it. It's second down, not a lot of pressure to really do things. So this is your chance to take the shot. It pays off, and we get a big gain, and it kind of kept us going. So, I mean, just heck of a play by two guys that have contributed a lot recently, and I believe should moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we jump into the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, a tough night against a really, really good team, but I think it's just worth talking about a couple of guys. Morgan Brown, 10 tackles, 5 solo tackles. EJ gets you 6 tackles, 5 solo tackles. Sefa back in there with 6 tackles, 5 solo tackles. Warner gives you 4 tackles. Bunch of people added to the effort. Again, it's beating a dead horse at this point, but they're really, really good offensively. And finding ways to make plays is easier said than done.
Yeah, and I think it's tough, especially when you go out there and you play an offensive line that's big and that physical. But I mean, like I said, I thought they played hard, and I don't think they ever gave up. I mean, they could have easily, after those first couple drives, just packed it in. But I mean, there were some drives where they made them work for it, and there were some positives from it. And I think they just kept playing, but I think there's a lot of things we can take from it, and I think we can grow from it to just keep moving forward.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to move forward here.
Yes, sir.
Let's jump into our favorite segment, and we've only got a couple of these left. Like I said, seasons are starting to disappear on us. We got a couple of teams still playing, but want to recognize a handful of student athletes of the week to close out this year here. So for girls soccer, Lexi Joyner is going to be the girls soccer athlete of the week. And the note on Lexi is she has had the most incredible season, now holds the record for most saves in a season for a Deer Park Wildcat, stepped up as a freshman and made a huge impact on the team. We cannot wait to see how the next 3 years go. 3 more years.
Yeah, well, I think we've talked about it before. I don't think she's ever played goalie before, so I think that's huge. And just, doing a good job like that and breaking records, I mean, that's as a freshman, that's insane.
It's awesome. Boys soccer, Nolan Hedges is the final boys soccer player of the week. Their season ended last week at Georgetown, but Coach said Nolan played well at Georgetown and the entire season. So, good improvement seen from a real young boys soccer over there too. So a lot of big things to come for them. Cheerleading, Marley Brown is the student athlete of the week. And Coach Nolan said Marley is such a joy to have on our squad, always working hard to improve on existing skills and never misses a chance to cheer on her teammates. Her positive energy and fun personality light up the sidelines and make every practice better. We love having her on our team. I'm going to jump into football before we close it out with volleyball here. So I'm going to let you talk about Andre Warren.
Cool. So Andre, he's a senior captain for us. This is the guy that shows up every day, and he brings a lot of life to the team, but he's also a guy that when we ask him to sit down and make some plays, he does. He's played tackle for us the past 3 years. He's played D-line for us, and he's continually got better. He's a guy who's out there, and he kills it in the weight room. He's the only guy in the 1,200-pound club, so that's when you combine his squat, his bench, and his deadlift max. It's a ton of weight, and watching him lift it's pretty insane because he just goes in there and loads it up and goes.
Yeah.
But Andre's just a guy who really, I think he keeps some life around the team, and the guys lean on him at times to make plays. I think he's gonna have a chance to play at the next level. Where he's got a few schools looking at him, but but I think he's going to, wherever he goes, I think they're going to get a guy who's going to go in there day one and just really just grind it out and work. And I think that's just the biggest thing with Andres, taking over last year. He's been one of the key pieces who's kind of just instilled that work within the culture we're trying to build. And I mean, I couldn't thank him enough for it. Well, I did thank him by giving him the carry.
1 carry, 3 yards.
So he's welcome. That was about 4 years coming. Trust me, I hear about it every single week in practice. Now he's trying to get a pass, and I don't think that's going to happen. But just really appreciate
3 yards.
Yeah, that's all. Trust me. And I woke up on Saturday morning. I was in the coach's office after the game. I was like, I know there's going to be a highlight from Andre. And I see on Huddle it says Andre Warren's created a highlight, and I see him highlighted in the backfield. I'm like, geez, I know these kids too well. But, I mean, he's a great kid. He does everything we ask for him and more. So, I mean, I couldn't be prouder of him and everything he's done so far through these 4 years.
For sure. All right. Varsity volleyball, their entire team is our nominee for
as they should be.
Team of the week. They, if you haven't seen what's happened with the volleyball team right now, they knock off Williamsburg last Thursday to advance to the sectional finals, I think is what we call that in volleyball now. And this week in a battle against Marymount, who they split with, they came out and they took care of business.
Yes, they did.
Put it like that. They win that one 3-1 and head to their first district final ever. We talked about this team a lot, and we said big things were coming, and there was some spots in the year. The CHL for volleyball is a lot like the CHL in football. In every sport, honestly. I mean, it is what it is. But these small school powerhouses across the board, there's some great volleyball programs, and so you looked at their record and you thought, it's coming, and it is headed to a district final and a chance to win districts. Awesome opportunity.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, I think Coach Beach has done a great job, and, she expects a ton out of those girls, and, her and I have discussed kind of how both of our cultures kind of align, and I think that's kind of been one of the biggest things is that, as fall sports, we're kind of all getting to be on the same page. But, I mean, she's got a great group of girls, and, every time it seems like you flip on DP Athletics on Twitter or on Facebook, somebody's breaking a record or somebody's doing it. I mean, they had probably 10 or 12 girls listed from stats against Marymount. So, I mean, those girls are crushing it. And, I mean, the thing with all of them is they're just all great people, too. I mean, we got some of them that work for us, obviously, but then you got other girls who are out there doing things. And, I saw Abby Woodley broke another record in the tournament game, and I think she's a couple away from breaking another record. So, I mean, those girls are just crushing it. And, I mean, you're graduating 3 seniors who are a big part of what you're doing, but you also got a lot of young girls still on the team. So, I mean, I'm excited for Saturday. If you're watching this, make sure you get there. 3 o'clock, Monroe. I think they play Miami East. I don't know their mascot, but we're gonna go out there. We're gonna put it to them and just keep rolling.
Love it.
Go out there. The girls deserve all the support they can get. They're rolling right now. Get after it.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's swing this thing back to football and close this thing out. All right, 5-4. Headed into the last game of the regular season. It never ends. Wyoming sitting in front of you, 9-1. Wyoming, just like Indian Hill, has given up next to no points on the year. Their lone loss is to Indian Hill, a 28-7 loss. And then you look at the rest of their schedule, and it's Reading win 49-13, Finneytown win 49-13, Madeira 42-14, Marymount 49-24. Offensively, or they're defensively, maybe not as stout as Indian Hill, but still very, very good. But offensively, they can do a lot of things really, really well.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, obviously, being from Wyoming, being a Wyoming guy.
Wyoming grad, Tucker Berger.
I know a lot of guys over there still. And I mean, that's, I think, the biggest thing with them is just they've been an extremely stable program, since, I mean, I was a freshman there in 2012, and that's when their head coach, Aaron Hancock, took over. So I was part of that first class that went all 4 years. And, I mean, I think looking at the coaching staff now, there's 2 coaches who are there, probably 3 coaches there who were there 3 out of the 4 years I was there. And, I mean, that's just crazy to have that many guys there that have been there that long. And, I mean, even you can factor my dad in, who left last year once I got the job. And he's been there since he was there from 2007 to about 2024, right? So, I mean, having that stability, it just helps build that culture. And that's something that, when I think back on what made us so successful when I was there and things like that, you think about the things that are in place and you try to kind of replicate it some, but then put your own touch on it.
Yeah.
So, we know they're going to be a good team. We know what they're going to do. Then we know they're going to be physical. We know they're going to be well coached. And I think that's something we've talked about with the guys. It's, it might not be the exact same thing you saw last week in terms of offense, defense, things like that. But it's going to be a team where they're going to be in the right spots. They're going to be a team that's going to play hard. They're going to play well in all three phases. So it's going to be something where you're just going to have to buckle your chin strap up, take some of the lumps, but keep playing. Yep. I think we have the ability to go out there and put together a good performance and play with them. Last year I thought we had more success than I think people thought we would have had on them. So I think the guys know that we have the ability to do it. And it's really just going out there and getting it done. And I think that's the biggest thing. We've talked about it throughout the week. If you want to guarantee yourself a week 11, win. If you want to play another home game, win. You have the ability to go out there and control your own destiny. If you get the job done on Friday, nobody can take it from you, right? But with that, we've told them it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be you go out there, we just roll the ball out, and you just get it done. You're going to have to lock in. You're going to have to play. You're going to have to stay together, and you're going to have to get it done. And honestly, those are the things you want. Those are the games you want to be in.
Yeah.
You don't want to just go out there every single week and just blow people out, because it doesn't get you ready for big games, right? So that's, I think, the give and the take with playing in a league with Wyoming's and with Indian Hills is that, one, you see what programs can get to, but you're also going to be battle tested when you go and play some of these other D6 teams that don't play teams of that caliber, teams of that size. So, I'm looking forward to it. This is the first time I've been back there as a head coach.
Yeah.
And, it's a little bittersweet when you get back there sometimes. Just, you think about all the 4 years you spent there, the games you played there, the memories you had there. But, once the ball kicks off, then it's just another game.
Time, yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to it. There'll be a lot of people there. It'll be loud. It's their senior night, so it's going to be another chaotic environment for us. But we just got to show up and play our game.
Looking forward to it. All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Deer Park Coaches Show. He's Tucker Berger. I'm Jake Snyder. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on our YouTube, watch us on Facebook, and follow the show wherever you get your podcasts. For Tucker Berger, it's week 10.
Yes, sir.
We will see you all on Friday night.